Hello.
Let me unmute myself and get up in this Money Making Mondays. Hey,
Happy Money
Miss
Maker
Mercedes.
Monday.
Happy Money Making Mondays.
Mhm.
Well, welcome to my partner Mercedes, and welcome to you all. For those of you who may not know who we are, or you do know who we are, and we just need to reiterate it, my name
Mhm.
is Quintaria Brunson. I am the owner and founder of a firm called the Brunson Approach. We're a financial strategy firm that focuses on financial solutions, legacy plans for entrepreneurs and for families. And I am partnered with
Mercedes Coates. How are you guys? CEO and founder of Coastway Financial Services Company. We represent living benefits, life insurance, retirement, and child legacy planning. Nice to meet you guys. Those who are
yes,
here for the first time.
yes, and good to see you all for those who are coming back.
Yes.
Well,
Happy Money
as
Monday.
you know, or as you will soon get to know, Mercedes and I made a commitment about 2 years ago to continue to bring financial concepts and financial awareness, and just the overall just spreading the vision of understanding how we can take back our financial picture and have the retirement that we desire, have the lifestyle that we desire, do all of these things that we say, at family functions. And, I know growing up, my family would talk so much about all yeah, I'm gonna write a book and leave you the money and do all of
Yeah.
this. And all of those are wonderful things to aspire to. But how about we have the steps in place, the solutions in place to make this doable? As I always say, financial solutions are simple, not easy. Like I'm not gonna you gonna have to put in some work, but the concepts are not so foreign and not so far-fetched that you cannot grab hold of these concepts and win. So, without any further ado, what are we discussing today? What's our topic for today?
Guys, I'm excited. Today we are discussing the different ways we can save. Okay.
Okay.
There are a lot of things people say to do. Oh, do this, do that. But we're going to break it down today. We're going to break down the different areas, the different categories that you can save your money, how you can invest it, save it, grow it, whatever the case is. We're just going to talk about the basic categories so you have an understanding of what options you have. I like diversification because you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, but you do have to understand that you have to factor in taxes. See,
Mm-hmm.
we make a lot of money throughout our lifetimes, but we decide how we're going to spend it and we don't decide how it's taxed.
Yeah.
That's where our favorite uncle, he decides where it's taxed, but you decide where you're going to contribute. So again, our focus is to build up financial prosperity. So you guys have the right tools, the financial tools, and you have the right understanding to make smart decisions.
Yeah. Well, you are talking my language. My background is in accounting. I have an accounting degree, was on my path to becoming a CPA, and I was bored out of my mind because
Ha.
the strategist in me, well, and no disrespect to accountants and CPAs, because we need them, but it's more about, keeping all of the lines in place, crossing every T, dotting every I. All of those things needed to be in place. And I'm more of a strategist. So, but tax strategy is something that I love, and is something that so many people just give money away because they have not, one, they don't understand the tax code. They don't take the time and the effort to even do basic minimal understanding of it. And they are speaking to the wrong people about it. Our accountants are definitely needed and resourceful. And, like I said, I was in that industry and did it for years, but you need some type of strategy to come to your accountant with, to say, hey, this is my goal. How do I achieve this? Or this is the pathway that I'm really interested in. Make my numbers work for this or that. So you are talking my language. Like I might turn into a little geek today and start
Hey.
out tax code and all of that. But we're going to, we have something to present to you all, and I'm gonna let Mercedes dig in and get started with this topic today.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So thanks again, Quintaria. Definitely your expertise is always needed. And I know a lot of people relate to you. So those of you guys who are watching, again, we come from a very experienced background on two different sides. One, I'm 12 years in the industry when it comes to using financial products like life insurance, annuities, things like that. And then Quintaria brings a different side of the business aspect. So together, guys, again, we are bringing you much experience. So today I want to share with you different ways you can save. And the key is to keep it simple. Feel free to take notes. If you have questions, just go ahead and drop those in the chat box and or under the comments. Like it, share it. That's the best way for us to get the word out or to even answer your questions, right?
Uh-huh.
So different ways we can save. Let's talk about after tax. So this after tax bucket, after tax dollars are, for example, after you get your check. Okay. So most people are W 2 workers. We need W 2 workers, right? I am also a W 2 worker in a certain aspect. We need them. But I'm going to tell you before you see your money, guess what, Uncle? Guess what relative? Dang, I gave it away. Guess what relative gets their money first?
The
Uncle
one who
Sam.
can't even manage it, like we're not gonna hit that national debt clock.
Tell you, he get his money first before we even see that check that's cut from that company. He got his, right? So now
Hmm.
we're talking about after tax dollars. So those after tax dollars, if you decide to put those after tax dollars into an after tax account, that would be something like a savings account or a CD account. Most of these items you can get from a bank, your local bank, credit union, any interest that accumulates on these counts, Quintaria. One thing that I'm going to tell you, I used to get a lot of interest from my savings accounts back in the day when interest was a little higher. That was 20 years ago, right? But now it's less than 1%. But you know those little
If
statements
that,
that you get, less than 1%. But you know those little statements, they're called the combined interest statements. Did you know you're supposed to report those to the IRS? Girl, I was throwing them away. I didn't know.
well, when it's only 2, 3 cent on there, it's kind of easy to miss. But yes, those yeah, and what you don't know can hurt you, and more often than not it can
Uh-huh.
benefit someone else. you
Yes, it
know
can.
because even though those statements for the average person, they're not huge, but they could reduce some of your tax liability and things of
Yeah,
that nature. But if you're not reporting it, yeah, you're leaving money on
absolutely.
the table for our favorite family member who
Yeah.
struggles with money management to keep managing all of our money.
Right. So these accounts, guys, these after tax accounts, I like to call them double tax because that's what they are. You're getting taxed on the front end before you get your check, and then you're getting taxed on the back end after you put it into an after tax account. Any interest that accumulates, you're getting taxed again. That's that second double taxed account. Okay. So easy way to remember, after tax dollar accounts are double taxed. Make sense? Hopefully it does. So let's move on to tax deferred. So when we talk about tax deferred, a lot of people like to think about it as we're having tax savings throughout the year. So tax deferred and pre-tax are very similar to each other, guys. These are like annuities. These are traditional IRAs, which are called individual retirement accounts. These are 401ks. These are TSPs if you are with the government. If you're a teacher or in a teaching profession, you may have a 457 or 43B plan, things like that. So these tax savings plans, which most people think because they're avoiding the taxes today, they're really not tax savings. They are tax delayed accounts. So whenever you see tax deferred, think of it as you're delaying the tax till later. Okay. So, very simple. So, right now, you may be taking advantage of some write offs, right? Well, the government does set a limit on how much you can contribute to these accounts. In most cases, every year they seem to be going up by a little bit, maybe $1,000 to $2,000 when it comes to the limit. But most times you can put out about 19,500 if you're a single person into these accounts every single year. And it means that you're not paying any taxes. So when you get your check, that money is going directly into that retirement account. and then you get your net pay. Okay. This way you're avoiding the taxes. It's not until you go to take the money out of these accounts that you're now taxed on it.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that I think when people sign up like for their job benefits, a lot of times they don't even know what they're signing up for. They
Yes,
just
I
sign
agree.
up because they're offering it, right? And what do you typically hear in your space? Are you hearing? Because I know you work with a lot of business owners, so most of them don't use these type of accounts. But in
And
your
then
past,
there's a fair percentage that still, although they own a business, they still have a W-2,
job,
like their dual career.
perfect. And then you're right. There is a lot of people doing a dual career. But are you hearing anything about, oh my goodness, what do I do with this money? Like if I'm getting ready to transition from W-2 to now my business is booming, I can transition into 1099. Are you hearing any conversations around that transition now?
Yes. The average individual is very clueless on what to do with this. They
Mm-hmm.
pretty much just go with the flow and they bubble in, or even some employers will already have like pre-filled out options for you, or they'll give you like a guideline on how to do it, so people just kind of like whatever they say, and
Yep.
they think because the money is going into a savings bucket that it is the most beneficial. So when people are leaving their jobs to become full-time entrepreneurs, many times they use it inappropriately, or they pull those funds out in ways that cause more taxes to be triggered, and
Yeah.
they don't do it in a way that, or in a thoughtful way where they can avoid tax, or be
Yes.
more efficient with the taxes that they could owe on it. So I see a lot of misuse and mismanagement of
Yes.
it, and it's the number one reason is because they don't understand how it works, the tax code, and what advantages and disadvantages
Yes.
are with each one of these categories.
Absolutely. They're absolutely pros and cons, guys, of using it. Depending on what your goals are, if you're looking to use it long term or short term, you want to consider do you need this money throughout your lifetime? Initially, annuities, IRAs, 401ks, TSPs, these are put in place for long-term savings for retirement. They're not essentially put in place to use it throughout your lifetime during your working
Yes.
year. And see, that's the number one key that I think, Quintari, a lot of people don't understand. They use these concepts and they think, oh my goodness, I could use this while I'm living. But that's a tax trap. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a tax trap because when you do pull that money out, you can be penalized not once, but twice.
And
Because
speaking of tax trap, like
you're
Senator Roth, when they brought this together,
mhm,
the coffers for the U.S. government were running low, and they needed ways for people to pour more money into uh, government-backed entities and financial vehicles. And they knew that the average American would not hold this money for 30 years or
yeah.
whatever. And so I'm so glad that you're saying tax trap. I wish we had a little meme or something that could pop up and do a dance showing
Oh yeah,
people
that'd be cool.
falling into this tax trap, because
Yeah,
that is exactly what it is. If
that's
you
what
are
it is.
using these vehicles for vacations, if you're using them to pay for your
Mhm,
kids' college, if you're using them for anything other than long-term savings for retirement, you
mhm,
are probably, because there could be an exception, but that is truly an exception to the exception to the
for sure.
exception. But you are probably misusing this, and you are giving more money up than you need to, or than you even
Absolutely.
realize. Yeah, you're
Absolutely. I mean,
highly
listen.
penalized for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And guys, just to kind of put it in perspective, I'll give you an example. I had a client who came to me, Mercedes. I'm trying to pull out $30,000 for something, right? So what they did was they took out a loan for 30,000, and it wasn't a qualifying event. So remember, guys, consider there has to be qualifying events in order to avoid a certain penalty to take
Mm-hmm.
it out, and it's typically an emergency, a medical emergency or hospital care or something like that. But if you just pull it out for a vacation or you want to buy a boat or something, let's say you take out 30,000 and let's say you fall into a 25% tax bracket. And 25%, quite frankly, Quintaria, is if you're making about 120, I believe it's 125,000 or 120,000
and,
or so.
and that
You're,
still may be inching up to 27, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, roughly, let's just call it 120,000 a year,
Uh-huh.
25% tax bracket. If you're taking $30,000 out of your retirement account, you can look at approximately that $25,000, I mean, 25% that you're going to pay in taxes. Plus, if you're under the age of 59 and a half, you're going to pay an additional 10%. So in order to take that $30,000 out, Quintaria, most people end up spending 35% in taxes
Yeah,
just to take that out.
yeah,
So that's the tax trap, guys. And a lot of people don't realize it until they have an emergency or they have something that they want to use their money. They see it, we want to touch it, we want to grab it,
yeah,
but essentially it's not really ours
yeah,
until we go to retire. And
yeah.
that's just the bottom line, right?
Most
So
definitely.
how do we find different ways to kind of distribute? So you do want to have retirement options where you're letting it sit there and grow without paying those tax penalties. You want to wait till after 59 and a half if you can. But when we come to the last category, guys, tax free, this actually allows you to have a little more flexibility. Tax free accounts do give you the option to potentially take it out early. And I say potentially because there's two types of tax free plans. The first one is the Roth IRA. Now, the Roth IRA is what we call after tax dollars. Okay. So when you see tax free, that means that I'm going to go with the W 2. You have your check. Uncle Sam got his cut first. You got your net pay. And then a portion goes into your Roth IRA. That's after you receive your net pay. This means that you've already paid taxes on that money. So when you hear tax free, that means you've already paid taxes and you're putting it into an account that will grow based off the market, the Roth IRA, which means you are subject to the ups and downs of the market. You can earn, but you can also lose. But guess what? All of your gains are completely tax free. So after 59 and a half, you can enjoy all of your monies. Now, here's what I will say, Quintaria. A lot of people who are aggressive savers, it may not be the best option because it is capped. Right now, it's capped at
Mhm.
6,700. Okay. The most you can put in a year is 6,700. So if you are a little more aggressive than that at saving, it may not be the best option or the only option.
Mhm.
Okay. But when we talk about having more flexibility, you want a plan that you can use throughout your lifetime and grow your money for the future. Then a permanent life insurance with cash value can also provide that for you, where you can pull out the money without paying taxes on it because you already have your active tax dollars. So we're talking about being able to essentially, if you want to make a big purchase or you want to put a down payment on a home, you want to send your child to Africa for 2 weeks, whatever, you can pull the money out of this life insurance without paying taxes. Okay, that
Yeah.
is one of the beautiful things about cash value insurance. Okay, anything you want to add on that part?
Well, the one thing I will say, just in general, too, is a lot of the government, the government backed or government incentivized plans and solutions that are available are have penalties for high earners as well too. So if you are a high earner or you are striving to be a high earner, especially for many of the business owners that I work with, once you cross over, to a certain annual income amount, many of these strategies are no longer applicable, or the caps that are on it will not allow you to save to the degree that so that you can keep the lifestyle that you want. So that is why it is so essential for you to understand and to book a consultation with professionals such as myself and Mercedes so that you can know the full picture, because we talk a lot on these Money Making Mondays about working towards the level of wealth that you desire and things of that nature. So some of these strategies may work your first 5 years of employment. They may work your first 10 years of employment, but you need to know when it is time to switch, when it's time to have new
Yep.
conversations, with money that you could be putting away that you know you will not need to touch for 30 years versus money that, because if you have a 5-year-old, you know that in less than 30 years, you may, depending on the decisions that that child makes in terms of schooling or the career goals, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
support them, then some of these financial options that are out there should not work for you. So I don't want us to miss high earners, or for those individuals who are seeking to be a high earner, the tax-free solutions that uh, life insurance policies and life insurance concepts provide can be great opportunities where they're not even available to them in other spaces.
Absolutely. I mean, I completely agree. Actually, I read an article, I believe it was back in 2014, and I always talk about this because it stuck with me. I was a big reader of the Wall Street Journal back when I was in college. I had to read that Wall Street Journal every day. So I read an article that was called The Wealth Effect. And quite frankly, Quintaria, the wealth effect said that the top 10% of the wealthiest individuals in the nation own over 50% of these cash value policies built
Mm-hmm.
up in life insurance. And the key reason is because of the tax shelter that it offers.
Yeah.
See, like you said, most wealthy people, and when I say wealthy, even over $145,000 a year of income, you are considered not able to purchase some of these products.
Yep.
Okay, because you have exceeded the contribution limits
Mm-hmm.
based on what you earn. So most people who are making over that amount are leveraging this tax shelter in permanent life insurance to dump their money into a place where it's sheltered, it has high growth potential, no risk, market risk, and also that guaranteed income opportunity to have a guaranteed stream of income when they go to retire that they cannot outlive.
Yeah.
So a great way, guys, to leverage these tools if you are a high income earner. Life insurance by far has one of the greatest tax shelter potentials. And honestly, Quintari, the article did state as well, families fall in the bottom 6.8% in participation.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's where we come in, sharing this concept with you guys, that you don't have to fall in that 6.8%. You can take advantage of the same exact things that the wealthiest Americans are taking
And
advantage
this is what I say all the time. The
of.
tax code is for everyone. There are just certain communities and certain demographics of our society that go to it and understand it more, but
Mhm.
it is written for everyone. We
Yes.
all can take advantage of it. And I get so
Mhm.
excited when people realize, oh, I can
Mhm.
do this and this. I'll say this and we can discuss this on another one. That's another reason why owning businesses and
Mhm.
being an entrepreneur, like there are so many advantages
Oh, yes.
that are available to those of us who own businesses in terms of tax protection, tax strategy, and things of that nature, as a wealth generating opportunity. I won't get
Mhm.
too much into that, but I could not leave that bell unchimed.
Yes, I knew you was coming with the corporate veil. I already
Yes,
knew.
yeah, yeah.
I love it. Guys, listen, the tips and stuff is you're gonna get from us, these are the things that we've learned over the years, just basically our experiences, and we want to share those with you because sometimes the best way to learn is to learn from others who've already done it,
Yes.
right? To
I
avoid
can
some of the
keep you from
pitfalls.
some pitfalls, baby.
Yes, we was
Pitfalls.
wanting them
That's why
pitfalls.
I'm so passionate. I'm like, you don't
Yes.
want to go that way. I fell into that ditch and it
Yep.
took me 6 years to climb out. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
save y'all.
That's wisdom and understanding. So when you can learn these concepts, family, then you can make better decisions. So we started talking about where can you put your money? We started talking about making smarter decisions. So if you are participating in a tax deferred plan that we discussed before, or a pre-tax plan, doesn't mean you can't also attach a tax-free option. Sometimes it's just as simple as reallocating or moving money from one place to the other to make it work better for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So we teach you those strategies, how to look at your financial picture and say, hey, let's move some of this over here and put it in this bucket. Because essentially, if you're going to live a long time and you're expecting, if you are a person who expecting, I meet some people like, Mercedes, I'm gone at 60. I'm like, whoa, hold up. I'm living to 125.
Thank
I
you.
don't want I don't want to go at 60, but some people do, so it really just depends on your perspective. If you're thinking, hey,
But whatever your
um,
expectancy is, you
yes,
want to live the way you want to live and
exactly.
into whenever I exit stage left.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. You want to prepare for the unexpected and the expected.
Mm-hmm.
Because the unexpected going to happen. I mean, you read the book. Have you read the book by Stephen Covey, Peaks and Valleys?
Mm-hmm.
Peaks and
Yes.
valleys was a key essential turning point in my mindset. I think I read that when I
Wow.
was about 23. But peaks and valleys was like, whoa, okay,
I need to go
expectation.
back and read that again. It's been some
It's
years since I read
yes,
it.
get that book.
But
Okay,
it,
peaks and
yeah.
valleys, just a small read. The guy who wrote Who Moved My Cheese. The
Uh-huh. I
second one
read
was
that one too.
Peaks
Yeah.
and Valleys was the second one. And it puts you in perspective to say, oh, there will be peaks and valleys. They're going if you're an entrepreneur, you know this. I ain't
Yeah.
even gotta say nothing. You know the roller coaster,
If
right?
you, yeah, if you live in like, yeah, you don't even have to get into the business yet. Day-to-day life,
Hey,
there are ups
it's
and
real.
downs. Yeah.
But the key again is something that you always hear me preach about: strong foundation. If you got a strong foundation, when those peaks and valleys come, none of that matters because you got the protection umbrella that you need. That's
Yeah.
the key. So, just again, guys, to wrap it up, different ways you can save. You want to factor in taxes. Don't just look at how much you're accumulating. You can have a lot of money. Quintari, I've seen a lot of people inherit a lot of money, a lot of houses, a lot of estate, and they can lose half or a little bit more to taxes.
Yes, because the more you have, the more subject to taxes you could potentially be. So
Absolutely.
honestly, that should be the cue is as your accounts are growing, as you are earning more money and you're looking at these accounts like, wow, 100,000, wow, 200,000, wow, 30,000, whatever your benchmark is that you see yourself elevating and growing, know that that triggers our favorite family member that does not manage their own money that well to say, do I have access to that? So, like it is great to earn and to build wealth, but you want to
Yeah.
do it smart and to be savvy about it and understanding how to move through the tax code and understanding just basic tax principles. Or if nothing else, just understanding that, you know what, I'm moving into a financial space that I'm unfamiliar with. Let me partner with a professional. Let me start
Mm-hmm.
having conversations because for me, and I won't get into that so deeply, but as I moved into new tax brackets, I had to start
Mm-hmm.
having conversations differently. Real quick, I've
Mm-hmm.
shared this before. The first time I had one, two, three, four, five, like a five-figure tax bill, a
That's
large
yeah.
one,
Mm-hmm.
like I talked to my mother, I talked to family members, and everyone I was talking to, and God bless them, Lord knows I love my mama and my friends and family, but they, oh no, I didn't even make that much last year, and you have to pay that in taxes. And it had me feeling like, yeah, like and I went to an event with accredited investors that I had been
Mm-hmm.
working with, and these gentlemen, are high earners, they're making moves or whatever, and I threw it out there. I was like, y'all won't believe this, I got to pay $60,000 in taxes this year. And the room got silent. It was like a cartoon. The music stopped. Everybody looked at me and kind of looked me up and down, and they were like, we thought you made more than that. That's all you paid? Like, and I'm like, whoa, like, but it
Perspective.
caused me to
Mm-hmm.
elevate my mind. And in that evening, a few of them shared some things that I need to do, because I was at the point that I was just into the tax bracket, but not at the top of that particular tax bracket. So I had to pay a lot more, but it was a few things that they was like, look, just do this and move this around. And where are you holding this and that, but when I talked to people that was not their life. My mother, was a school teacher, that that was numbers that
Yeah.
she had made in a year. So of course, her response was applicable to what she knew and what she was
Yeah.
accustomed to. So
Yeah.
I don't want anyone else to fall victim to that
Yeah.
as you are elevating, or when even before you have, when I had
Mhm.
$30 to my name, I knew I wanted to be a millionaire. So I had to hang around and start having conversations with millionaires. And I just want to re-emphasize that here. You don't have to go this alone. You don't have to
Yeah.
figure out the tax code alone. You don't have to figure out what buckets are better to place your money in alone. You have professionals here that are dedicated, and actually, Mercedes and I are overly excited to book consultations and
Yes.
share these concepts with you.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, Quintana, most of us are first time or first generation high income earners.
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
of us. So as we navigate this space, guys, where we're being more intentional, right? We're earning more, we're doing more than our families have ever done in most cases. You have to understand that it's essential for you to have an agent who is professional, who understands, an expert in the industry, a financial agent. When I say life insurance and annuity license, you also need a CPA. You need a good CPA who understands the tax laws. Those are the two essential people that you need. Ultimately, if you have what do you call those people? Money managers,
Financial planner.
financial planner. A financial planner is good for budgeting and structuring. However, most financial planners don't even hold a life insurance or annuity license. So they can tell you how to, but they can't put you in a product or concept.
One
That's
thing
where
I'll say for sure is you need a
Mhm.
team of
You have to
individuals.
have a team. It's
Because for
essential.
the most part, everyone specializes in a particular area. They're looking at the financial picture from what they specialize in, which is a
Yep.
great thing. But if you're asking your CPA certain questions about strategy and they're not a financial strategist, you may
They
fall
can't.
short. You may be blessed that you have one that has that duality, but you do need a financial team of
Yes,
experts,
you
and
do.
allow, and if someone tries to tell you otherwise, because I hear a lot of I don't want to call that particular industry out, but there's a particular industry where they want you to feel like they can do it all for you.
They can do it all.
and
Yeah,
and,
I know
and
what industry you're talking
yeah,
about. But
they
it's essential to have a
yes,
team, like she
they
said.
cannot. You need a team. You need a collective team of
Mhm.
individuals, and we'll leave that there.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
wrapping up today's session, honey, I told you this one right here, the taxes, honey. This yeah, this was
Listen, we
personally
all want to
and
minimize it.
professionally, yeah. But yeah, but bring us on home on how we can take some steps to make this a sooner than later impact in many of our lives.
Yeah, I mean, guys, listen, at the end of the day, it's really just having the conversation. You got to start somewhere. You got to figure out what strategy is going to work for you. The first thing, book a consultation. Book a consultation so you can find out what can you do, what options are made available to you. Because first is finding out, and
Yeah,
then putting in place a plan, right? So different ways to say we're going to share with you where you can put your money, how you can leverage it. You can show us what you're already doing, and then we move some things around and give you a projection of what the outlook can be, right?
yeah,
So, and guys, we are aligned with some of the best and the brightest individuals in different industries. So, if you're looking for an estate planner, we have that. If
mm-hmm,
you need a state attorney, we have that. If you
mm-hmm.
need a grant writer, we have that. We are very connected. And if you are one of those professionals, connect with us. We
Please.
want to connect with you because we want the best and brightest in our industries, different industries. We got to be power connectors. That's what we do,
Yeah.
right? And that's how we grow together. The stronger we are, the best professionals in the industry. We can point you in the right direction. So, guys, this has been wonderful. Factor in taxes, accumulate your money, but I want to see you keep it. I want to see you grow it. I want to see it pass on as a legacy and
Yes.
not pass on and lose it.
Yes.
Taxes, because we are being intentional, but we also want to be smart about it. We
Yes.
want to make sure that they can keep it and transfer it over and over and over again.
Yes. Pay what you owe in taxes.
Pay it.
Donate to charity any extra. That, like if you just have a giving heart, donate to, I'm sure there are some chimpanzees in Zimbabwe that would love a donation, but pay what you owe in taxes. Yeah.
Oh
And
gosh.
talk to us for solutions on how to do that.
I want to wrap it up with a quote from Patrick Kelly. So Patrick Kelly is the author of Tax Free Retirement, guys, and he said there is a way to live a fully funded retirement, enjoying all the things you want to do, and still leaving behind a potentially huge legacy that will pass on to the next generation, free from federal and state income tax. There is a way.
There is
It
a
is
way.
possible. And guess what? You book a consultation with us, and if we end up putting you guys into a strategy and you roll, you're going to get one of these for free. Okay. We want
That
to make
will
sure
be
these
life
last
changing. Life
inside and
changing.
out. Life changing.
Life
Okay.
changing. Mercedes,
Quintaria.
thank
Woo!
you for another amazing session.
Yes.
These Money Making Mondays and the financial solutions and just the conversations, they are enlightening and uplifting. And I know that our family and our tribe that is watching and following us, I know that you all are learning and growing from this. And I just look forward to hearing from you offline through consultations for however you need. Reach out to either one of us so that we can get you on the path so that you understand how your money works, so that you can budget and plan, and that you can take control of your financial destiny and have the legacy and leave the legacy so that your future generations are financially free and not financially frustrated.
Frustrated.
I
Yeah.
am Quintaria Brunson of the Brunson Approach, and it has been an honor to share time and space with you all.
Absolutely. Coastway Financial, Brunson Approach. We add it again next Mondays. Like
See you next Monday.
next Monday. Share it, guys. Like it. Thank you.
Thank
Have a blessed
you.
one, Quintaria. Thank you.